have decided to vote for Labour. No turning back, no turning back.
It's a party of people that we want to develop Nigeria, regardless of what your ethnicity is. We are all one Nigeria, and we must take the person that is capable, the person that can help us move this nation forward. That is what matters. It does not matter which religion, which ethnicity, but who is the best person for Nigeria at this particular time, at the place where we find ourselves, the space that we find ourselves. And if we are going to do what is right by this nation, if we are going to do what is right by our children and by the future of this nation, we know that we have to go the right way. We have to do the right thing, and we have to vote the right candidate. And staring everybody in the face. So if we strip out all the arguments and we go to the core of what is best for Nigeria, we know that the Labour Party was taught what is best for Nigeria at this particular time. And our president has gone left, right and center and campaigned on that point, that we need to develop Nigeria. We need to go from where we are to where we should be, and where this nation should be. And if we continue where we are, we're just going to go down. Can't make progress. Nobody is going to benefit. Not even the North, not even the South. Because what is happening to Nigeria is not happening in a particular region. It's happening all over. All over. It's happening all over. There is no region that is safe from the calamity that is in Nigeria right now. So we can't say one thing or the other. We just have to face the problem head on and deal with it. Use the right tool at the time to resolve what we have in our hand. And that's the way that we see it from Labour Party where we are. And especially Lagos. Lagos, for what Lagos has been in the past. Because Lagos is not a new state. Lagos was not crafted after the colonial master. Lagos was the state of independence. It was the commercial, the capital, everything of Nigeria. So we should not be where we are. We should not be where we are, that we were suffering this much. And Lagos, the amount of revenue we generate in this state. Wow. We should be, this thing should be an example for an African nation, not even just Nigeria, for most African nations, because we have the population, we have the resources, and then we have the income. So what is wrong? Because in a year we generate, according to the APC government that has been in power for 23 years, last year they declared that we generate inside Lagos 36 billion every month. 36 billion every month. That's apart from what they collect from federal.
Yes.
What is generated within this Lagos.
And apart from what they collect from Agbayos.
The taxi, the transportation section of Lagos State each month generates 650 million. Every month. 650 million. That sector alone reached to Lagos. So is it that sector should now be suffering like this? We don't see it. BLT is just as bad as rail, is just as bad as, there is no bit of that sector that is working. So we have to now be very practical and be very realistic within ourselves. And I said that we the people, because when we have a multiple democracy party system, democracy, and you continuously vote one party for 23 years, every cycle of election you vote the same party from councillor to all the way to assembly. What do you expect? That party is going to build things to work for its party, not for the people. And that's where Lagos State has got into. They have built it in such a way that it doesn't no longer work for the people, it works for APC. And that's why they can boast that they have the structure. Nobody can beat them in APC. But structures doesn't vote. It's the people that vote. So it's the people that will determine the fate of this nation. And somebody said to me that if you build a computer, with whatever you put in, that you will get out. Garbage out. So you can't vote for people that doesn't have good governance. They don't have compassion of the people. People that don't have knowledge of what the way they should be doing, and then expect them to work in the way that you expect them to work. Expect things to work. It's not going to work. So we all have to now realize that what we're doing for this nation is wrong. We have to start voting capable hands and not start voting by our ethnicity or our passion or we have to start voting with our conscience. In the future, my own parents did not leave Nigeria this way. Their grandfather did not leave Nigeria this way. So how did we get from that Nigeria to this Nigeria we're in today? It's this generation. It's this generation. And we took it to the extreme and scatter and destroy everything. That our children that are supposed to use 3 years to do a course, they'll be using 7, 8 years. And even when they finish that, there's no job. They turn all of them into adults and political thought. And our skills, our humanity, they've all left Nigeria and developed other nations. They're developing other countries. Even their own children that they're giving birth to in other countries, they cannot speak a language. And when you talk to them about Nigeria, they say, what? Where? Because they describe Africa for them as some jungle where everything, nothing works, where the leaders are corrupt, the leaders are. And what is wrong with this Africa and Nigeria is the leaders. It's the leaders that we put in office. And how long will we carry on this way? How long will we carry on this way? Eventually, I don't know, are we going to leave the bad to live in Nigeria? Because in every country there's always the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the good always manage to triumph. It's only Nigeria that the ugly triumphs. And you wonder why. And we are the ones that come us the most. We pray in all sorts of religion. But we do that compassion to do what is right. And that's what we need now to face reality. And that's why we're reaching for everybody that let us come together at different, whatever, no matter our background, we must now come together and save this nation and do what is right at this nation. And that's what Labour Party is all about. We don't have the billion fund. My president, people went to meet him. He said, I'm just a candidate like you are. You're a candidate, I'm a candidate. So we're all trying to run. He never tell you that I have billion. He doesn't have. Even our government. But we have the brain. We have the compassion. We have the determination. We have the focus to take us to where Nigeria should be going. And that's the help that we need from every tribe, every indigenous, non-indigenous. Well, for me, as long as you pay your tax in Lagos, you build a family business in Lagos, you are a Lagosian. I used to say to people that if we're saying to this one is not Lagosian, it's like we that are in, our children that are in overseas. Yes, they will say to them they're not British. They will not, well, they're British because they can contest for anything. They can do anything. They're Americans. They can do anything. Yeah, Lagosian. So everybody must, all the monies of Lagos must work for everybody. Must benefit every single individual that lives in this Lagos. Not a particular region, not a particular area, not a particular group. As long as you are paying your taxes, you have a businesses here, you are living here, the infrastructures, the government must benefit you. You must be able to access the services that the government provided. You must be able to The taxes or the laws of that country must, of that state must work for you, not for a particular group. We must be able to access everything that you need, but we don't have that. So I'm appealing to your conscience now. I'm stripping away everything else, but let's go to the real work, the real conscience, what the real problem. And if we can do it together, I can assure you, together this government is going to recognize everybody. Yes. One of the plans of government is to have a department that has a representative of every single community in that department, and every single group in that department. So it comes to that, it meets with that department every month, every quarter, to hear from them what is going on in their community and what government is doing in their community. That way it's relating directly to the people. And then we, for once, we're taking Alawusa to us is just another area. Government should be near the people. It should not be in one center where Badagry doesn't even feel Alawusa. Apapa don't feel Alawusa. Alawusa is only people in GRA in Kenya. Even some Kenyans don't feel Alawusa. You get to some places you will not know you are in Lagos. This is still part of Lagos. So we have to take government to the people, because it's the government of the people. So we have to decentralize Alawusa and take it. There's Alawusa in Ikorodu, there's Alawusa in Badagry, there's Alawusa in Papa. So it's easier for people to just go and access the services they need. They don't have to travel all the way down and all that traffic congestion and everything. If we bring the government to the people, that area is developed. So that is some of the plans that we're going to community, we're telling them. That's why you see me, I go on the street, I tell them, this government must come to the people. The people don't need to go to that government. It's the government, it must come to the people. And then we must make the local government work. Local government can be any 200 million in Ikorodu, and you first sell it to take it to Alawusa, then you send 20 million back. What does he want to do with that? He earns his money in the community. Let it use his money to develop his community, but regulate and monitor to make sure that they're using that money in that community. That's how local government works. There's no hospital, there's no health center. You go to some community, there's even no water, there's no road, there's all these things. And that community is earning, that local government is earning tremendous amount of money for government. And you don't see 10% of it in that local. So how does that local government want to develop? So that all these things it's been taken away from the people. The amount of money that government generates from markets, there should not be a single market in Lagos State that is not a supermarket. It's superb infrastructures. But you go to some markets and like, what is going on? And the amount of money they collect in that market. You can't collect money from people and not use the money to benefit the people. It's wrong. And we're using billions and billions to build one line of railway for 23 years. That money they used to build that line, that blue line, the commission, is the one that built the whole of Heathrow Airport in UK. And we use it to build one railway line for 23 years. So it's all these things that we need to be holding our government accountable. You need a government that you can hold accountable. You need a government that is friendly to the people. You need a government that you can reach. And that's what we are bringing. And that's what we are offering. And that's why you see, I see all of us, we go out, we work so hard to let the message. Because for us, if we can't deliver in 4 years, we should not come back to you and say, vote for me. How can government in 23 be in power for 23 years And it's the same government that is putting billboard all over the place. Say the people don't know you.
They are not doing well.
Why you?
They will go and put their own somebody.
Yes.
They go and put their own.
Why are you advertising so much? It's the same MP. You are the one ruling the same for 23 years.
Why do you need to advertise?
Why do you need to advertise?
If you are doing the right thing.
Thank you, sir. Why? You don't. The people should be the one fighting for you. But every news and corner, every street, they turn the whole of Lagos State to graffiti.
A good item sells itself.
Good. Thank you, sir.
It sells itself.
And
You
that's
need to
why
advertise.
exactly. And that's why we're bringing. We don't need to sell tea. After 4 years, if you can't sell us, then we're not worth coming back. We want to give you something that you can say, they did this in 100 days, they did this in 1 year, they did this in 2 years, they did this in 3 years, and this is all the things that they said they will do. Okay, they achieved 60%, 70%. If you can't mark a government with that measurable target, that government is not worth
It's not competent.
It's not competent.
It can't solve the problem.
It can't solve your problem.
You need another set of people.
Exactly. That's how government work from where I was trained. If you, even 2 years, if you are not delivering your manifesto within 1 year, the second year they remove you.
Yes.
How many times have they removed Prime Minister in the UK? One didn't even last time 1 week.
Yes, 1 week.
One did not last 1 week. When the policy, the budget she brought out was hardship problem. The whole UK revolved. She retired herself.
She has to resign.
She will time pass.
Yes, that is how it's supposed to be.
1
The
week.
system that is working.
If the system is working, there's check and balances, there's accountability, there's regulation. But when you take all those institutions away from government, you have tyranny, you have destruction, and that is what is happening in Lagos. Because nobody is checking anybody. Everybody is the law to himself. They're not regulating anything. The civil service is crazy, the Agbero is crazy, everybody. It used to be a pride to be a civil servant. A pride, because these are the barracks of government. But they have made them redundant. They've taken power away from them. They've destroyed the barracks, and you expect the army to be. Well, where will the army stay? Who will guide the army? Who will support the army? That's just the way to look at it. We have a big problem, and we must begin to solve it before it's too late. So please.